A white man came into my comments on my other account the other day when I was live, and he said that we will put you back in chains. You will be enslaved again. And these type of comments are very telling of the deep desires that many white people have. They all love these slave movies because they all want to have the experience of owning a nigga. And they love the idea of slavery coming back. But the bad news is that nigga has expired. You'll never get that brand of Negro again. White man, sorry. You'll never see that day again. That was a one off. You'll never get that off again. Trying to wrap a nigga up in bondage today, it's impossible. Because for one, black people today would never let that happen. And two, the white man today isn't equipped to make this shit happen. You're not producing enough Count Faculas. You're not producing enough Michael Myers. You're not producing enough Freddy Krueger's, man. Yeah, you're always gonna have this in your blood. We all know that you can't be anything else but Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger. We know that. That's in DNA. But you don't have the nuts or guts to do what your wicked white devil forefathers did. You don't have it. You don't have the gut can hang a woman upside down and cut her stomach open. You don't have the guts to buck. You know what's interesting? You never see black trolls in like white spaces where white people are having lives and talking about white people shit. You don't really have the dynamic that black people we experience with our accounts, whether it's just posting content or going live. If we're having conversations that are not in favor of white people tend to come in and troll, 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 troll. If we're having conversation that just doesn't even include white people, they want to come in and troll the fucking comments, troll the goddamn live. And you're a grown ass man, and you're so white and superior, right? In your mind. Why the fuck are you on nigga lives? Why are you on nigga content pages? Why the fuck don't you just keep scrolling? I would never sit on a white man's live and fucking troll. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to see you. What the fuck is going on?
So white people will never leave black people alone, and I'm gonna tell you why. White society's obsession with black people isn't new, it's centuries old. If you think about slavery, colonialism, and exploitation, from the start, white wealth in America was built off the backs of black bodies. Sugar, cotton, tobacco, rice. This wasn't just economics, it was a system where white people's very identity was shaped around controlling and owning and watching black bodies. But here's the wild contradiction in all of this, right? While trying to dehumanize us, white culture has always been obsessed with us, right? They copied our music, our style, our language, our food, even our rhythm, all while denying us basic rights. Think about jazz and rock and hip hop and fashion, all born out of black genius, only to be taken, watered down, and sold back to the world with a white face on it. So why can't they just stay away? Because in a system that is built both on exploitation and envy, distance is impossible. White supremacy depends on keeping black people in place, close enough to use, control, or imitate, but never free enough to threaten the hierarchy. It's a sick paradox, fear and fascination at the same damn time. On a psychological level, it's projection. White folks will project their guilt, their fear, and their insecurities onto blackness, and then turn around and crave the very life, culture, and resilience they tried to destroy. It's like they want the sauce, but not the struggle. Now, to be real, not every white person acts like this, but the system, the way whiteness has defined itself against blackness, makes it so this obsession keeps resurfacing. Whether it's over policing or culture appropriation or trying to legislate our lives, it always comes back to the old need to dominate mixed with a quiet desire to be what they can't.
When someone comes back and tells you that we will put you back in chains, really this means a lot of things. And one of the most profound things is that at the back of the head of this person, they still think that they own you. They think that everything that you do depends on them. They think that for your survival, you need to go through them. There's this black podcaster was just trying to talk to his audience, and somebody commented on the comment section saying that we will put you back on your chains. We will put you back to chains. And you know what this means for black people. We know what this means, especially if you understand the devastating effects that slavery and slavery itself have it had towards black people. The post-traumatic syndrome that black people had to survive through being chained like animals, being chained through all these things and all those years that black people persevered, and the agility that they had to, the resilience, that they had to go through all those problems and how they came through it. And when a white person comes and tells you that, we'll put you back in to chains, it means that at the back of his head, it thinks that he can control you. What these people are not understanding is that the world has changed. Black people know their rights. Black people understand so much of history than what they could think. The entitlement that they have, that they can control everything, that they can say anything that they want to a black person and go away with it, becomes different, right? And now this white man is on the look, because you can't just come out and start saying such kind of hateful words towards a person. We need to think critically. We need to think whatever we are trying to say to other people, because you understand, how can you say black people are always leeching on white people and then we are always waiting for white support? I don't think black people are waiting for white support, because for the longest time, the last time I checked in the United States, 70% or more than 70% of white people today are getting they're getting their welfare support, and they depend on it, because people thought that black people are the ones who depend on it. So I really don't know who is leeching on who. The last time I checked, the European companies, for them to survive, they have to leech materials from Africa. They have to put black people in Africa through some difficult condition for them to get whatever they want. They have to talk. They always have to take something from Africa. So I don't know who is leeching from who. The last time I checked. When we get to look at the conditions of places like Congo, when we get to look at conditions of different places in Africa, you get to understand that the growth of all these places that is happening, it is because of the leeching. So I don't know who is leeching from who. So brothers and sisters, I just want to let the video play, and then I'll want you to let me know what you think and feel about this video. But until then, if you're watching me for the first time, I'm asking you to please subscribe to the channel, join the membership, and really get to what I can offer you. So let's watch the video. I'll be back.
John White Man leaves a comment talking to me about what are we going to do when Whitey takes away welfare and we can stop leeching off the white man. Aren't most welfare recipients white? Last time I fucking checked. But anyways, leeching off the white man. When in the history of people on earth has any black culture leeched off the white man? Name me a time in history that the white man had anything to fucking offer. White man. Oh, white man, what the fuck have you ever offered Earth, the people of the Earth, in good fucking faith? What have you offered the Earth? What have you offered the people that the people have just taken from you? Oh no, poor white man, poor white power system. We've been leeching off you through welfare. Oh, and how did you get that fucking welfare, you goddamn snake? You got it through a lot of capital. Well, how'd you establish that capital? You established that capital through free fucking labor. Slavery, right? Your favorite fucking act in history. Your claim to fame. The white man's fucking glory days. Yeah, so you wouldn't have a welfare system without fucking capital. And you wouldn't have capital without free labor. Slavery. So, leeching off the white man. Hey, white man, I got a question. What the fuck are you talking about? Leeching. You have not organically provided anything that didn't include someone else's blood. So whatever you give and whatever is taken is just a fraction of what the fuck you owe. Welfare is no fucking recompense for slavery. Never will it be. So you giving niggas a couple fucking shillings with the fucking clause that they better not work or better not make a certain amount. You better not have a man in the house. You better be in a fucking poverty line. Oh yeah, gee thanks. Gee thanks. You're giving government aid to people who don't have much and can't have much once they get the government aid. And once they start to gain a little bit of independence, government aid is gone. Whoa, gee, thanks, white man. I guess that compares tremendously to fucking hundreds of years of goddamn free slavery, blood, sweat, and fucking tears. Just to wake up and have white motherfuckers call you lazy. Who's lazier, the slave or the goddamn slave master? Hmm? Who's lazier? The motherfucker coming in and working his ass off till he fucking dies, right? In the name of fear of death and submission? Or the motherfucker who's yielding muskets, whips, horses, and a unified white devil fucking faction to indefinitely enslave a specific people in the name of free labor and fucking financial gain and benefit? Which is more lazy? Leeching? I employ you, white snake fucking liars, to concoct a truth in history where anybody, let alone black people, leached off of white people. And then you have the nerve to talk about mud huts. Remember, you filthy fucking disgusting Europeans had 7 black plagues. You almost wiped out your entire population. 1/3? 1/3 of you motherfuckers died off after the Moors cleaned you up, after the Inquisition, into the late 1800s, you had black plagues. You were throwing shit and piss out the fucking window. You were using cat skins to hold water. You would sleep next to animals in the house. Lice and scabies and rashes. You didn't bathe but twice a year, maybe if you got married. Once a year was the custom, was the norm. You didn't even know hygiene. Mud huts? You lived in shit huts. Your streets were caked with shit. Remember the London stink? Remember that? Remember that, white man? Remember the London stink that happened like, oh, I don't know, like around the 1800s? Hmm? When slavery's at its peak, when you're trying to brainwash black people that you're superior, meanwhile, back at the ranch in London, you have a river of fecal matter, piss, and dead animals. The smell alone, it was killing people in London. Remember that, white man? This is in your glorious fucking 1800s. You're filthy. So no matter what mud hut that you're gonna fucking throw out there about you're gonna go back to mud huts. Okay. At least it's made from mud. At least it's not made with shit. At least they don't shit in those mud huts. They don't piss in those mud huts. They don't shit on the streets where those mud huts are aligned. At least those Africans never had a fucking black plague because they didn't wash their ass or their hands or their face or their mouth. At least they can show their beautiful black skin. You can't even show your skin. Look at all your old paintings of each other. Look at your old fucking pictures. You gotta cover your neck, your wrist, every fucking thing. All you Yankee Doodle fucks had this disgusting skin. Mud huts? At least it's made from organic earth. At least the mud hut will ground you, balance you with the fucking chakras. But if I walk through old Europe and my feet are caked in piss and shit, and I go into your old European nasty fucking house, and you guys are shitting and pissing in the hallways like your fucking kings were doing. Remember that? Remember all your royals were in the palaces, shitting in the fucking palace hallways and pissing? It didn't matter what class of you filthy fucks that you fell into. You were disgusting in all levels and all classes. Mud huts? I'll take a mud hut any fucking day over the shit-caked, piss-infested streets of Europe. This is for the record and for the slow fucking hillbilly trolls in the back. All you white trolls. This is for you because you're not hearing it. You're on my fucking goddamn videos, but you're not hearing it. You're in the comments, but you're not fucking listening. I'm going to spell it out slow for you. Nobody wants you to patronize black business. I only brought up how you purposely will not patronize a black business just to spite the black business because that's the nature of you goddamn devils, right? Because you forced integration collectively to stop black business. A lot of you can come in here and say, we didn't force you. I don't know if you're born at night or last night, or if you're just your white brain cells aren't collecting together fast enough. What the fuck do you know about anything if you don't think they forced integration on black people?
I think we're entering the darkest hour for Black America ever. I do think that what we're about to enter is going to be worse than slavery. And the big reason for that is because people aren't even aware of how unfree they are at this point in time. We are actually all more fucked than Assata Shakur. Like all of us. And like I said, I've been on a watch list since I was 13. I'm not gonna go into why that is, but I've been on a domestic terrorist watch list since I was a child. Assata Shakur was also on was labeled a domestic terrorist, and Trump just signed an executive order to basically label all of us on this app as domestic terrorists. But what's even worse is that right now we actually have less organization, less movement, less capacity, less commitment than at any point in American history. Because people think, well, as long as I get money, I'll be fine. They're gonna run up in your fucking job, sis. They're coming in your job to snatch you. And I don't talk about this a lot, because being a black woman with foresight, much in the same vein as Octavia Butler, I've been telling y'all this since 2020. Like 2019, I was like, oh, pattern recognized. Handmaid's Tale is actually not as bad as it's going to be. Because Handmaid's Tale is actually just what it's going to be for, like, wealthy white women. Do you guys realize the rest of us are going to them camps? And the craziest thing is y'all are like, they're not going to get me, they're not going to get me. They're going to get you. You don't even know how to survive in the woods. How the fuck do you think Assata got to Cuba? Like, how do you think she physically moved her body to Cuba? How do you, like... You don't have not a singular survival skill. You're not a part of a single organization. You don't have no friends. You are a worker drone. You're a worker drone in a country that has decided that you are domestic terrorists. You can't put your head down any further and avoid the scrutiny of Big Brother's eye. His eye is on us all, you guys. And it's frustrating. Here's what I'm going to say. I've been feeling called to leave social media. I no longer see any value that this app has. And I encourage all of you to leave social media and go outside. I think social media is actually hindering us from movement building, from actual organizing. It is taking too much of our time. It is distracting us. It is distracting because even organizers think they need to be on social media to reach people. No, that is not what the purpose of this app is. And it's not going to work in that sense. I think all of us need to wake up. It's time to like snap back to reality. And get serious. Because once you tip the scale, which has been tipped, but once you tip the scale from, if I do everything right, if I assume a submissive position, if I do not resist, and if I go along to get along, I will still be captured by the state, you now have no choice but you have to now resist. I'm not going to say too much, but that is where we are. Or be content to die in the camp. Those are the only two options. And I think it's really hard for humans to like process like long-term situation reality. But like, if you're not leaving the country, if you don't have at least $75,000 in cash right now, you cannot get out this motherfucker. I'm telling you right now, you're stuck here with us. And yeah, if you don't have the money to leave, you're stuck here. You're gonna get either captured or you're gonna, like, that's it. Like, that's it. Because none of us are, they have a record. They know who is a Nazi and who's not. And most of you are not Nazis. So you're gonna end up in the camp. And this is a country that has no problem committing G-sides. I need y'all to wake up. We are at the point where all of us must either commit revolutionary suicide or prepare to go the way of that young woman in V for Vendetta. I'm giving you as much game as I can give you. Okay? That's it, that's all. That's it. There's quite literally only two options. And I need y'all to choose. I need you to make a choice. Today. Today's the day. If you were looking for the day of, oh my God, are we going to do it or not? It's today. Today's the day.
Hello, brothers and sisters. How are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. There are a couple of things that the brothers and sisters, black brothers and sisters have shared that I think it's important that we value some of these black brothers that understand the plight of black people and the importance that black people carry. Something which is on the table that we need to address is this issue that the entitlement that these white men has towards black people. One thing that we need to understand about history is that the slave masters, they benefited so much from black people than how black people benefited from the slave masters. Remember, the lives of the slave masters depended, the lives of black people depended on the slave masters and what the slave masters could eat. Also, the lives of the slave masters also depended on black people. I'm going to be explaining. There is interdependence between the two, and I'll explain. First, the slave masters were so lazy. They thought that black people can work on their farms. Black people can do everything that they want them to do. And of course they did, because there was corporal punishment. There was so much policing that happened in these places. And they pushed towards this. And black people worked for so many years on the farms, right? Help them make money. Moving cotton from the farm, planting all those things that they wanted them to do, and taking care of different things that they wanted black people to do. At the same time, the lives of black people depended on these people because first they lynched, they hanged black people. And so any form of inconvenience caused by a black people, a black person, will mean that that will be substituted by his life. And so it also meant that black people didn't have a choice but to conform with all these things that happened. So when we try to look at history, we have a group of sociopaths, and the sociopaths were the slave masters in how they operated, because they acted like gods. Because when you mean somebody's life is sacred, but they depend on you because you can take life depending on how you feel. If you feel sad, you can wake up in the morning and just take their life because that's what you used to do. And so as a result, this shows how wicked these people were. And even today, when people say racism ended a long time ago, slavery doesn't exist and all those things, we have people that will come on your platform and spew all those crazy stuff. I'm used to it. We have people that do that, right? But at the end of the day, we need to understand the root cause of all this. While we are talking of the breakdown of all these things, how this is happening, we need to understand that the main cause of the problem is being caused by these people who are entitled, that they can say anything, they can do anything. They think that these are those Jim Crow times when they could just say anything and it would happen, right? Without thinking about the consequences of what they're saying. Well, right now that person is being searched, is being looked on what he said. because you can't get away with such kind of statements. I'm going to go through what people said about this topic. Well, I find it so much important if we try to interact with all these issues that are happening, and I find it so imperative that we get to look what also people said in regards to this. Somebody said that the slave masters were the lazy ones. It took them 4 months to get to Africa, to get their slaves in 4 months to get back crossing the Atlantic. That was 8 months that white man could have been working in his own land in 8 months wasted. So you tell me, oh, and where are we still at the lazy ones? Black people are not lazy. I think I can say that confidently. Somebody also said that the sociopaths are so arrogant and entitled. They truly believe that they can continue operating the way their ancestors did, yet they forget that we are the ones who innovated the majority of the technology used in this country. I'm a retired network administrator and a computer technician myself. We are in every walk of life, every profession, and we are 10 times better at what we do than our counterparts because they forced us to be. So the fools better start walking up and realizing who they are dealing with in the 21st century, right? So this is really happening, and I'm glad that black people are standing on business, and these are things that we need to address. These are things that we need to talk about. Somebody also said that she said that we ain't got no survival skills. Being an American and being black, you survive in every day. So don't scare us. It is not that we ain't together. We already said we are not getting out of the streets so they can fight us. But I don't think and hope that we have some secrets meeting somewhere. I'm just trying to get in one. I have some great ideas. The girl that was trying to warn us was really getting on my nerves. Like, that was a waste of tea. Like, really, like, shut up. She said nothing to help. No, nothing. I bet she ain't got no organization going on or nothing. Somebody said that, sorry, the lady that was speaking is really selling fear. This is why our frequencies are so low, because if you manifest what you want, then it will be. Listening to I is just like the people who was preparing for the rapture. My guy, he did that. When hatred runs in your veins, then there is no use for you. Those others that are sacred, and when they get there, they get angry. That's really funny when they are so Christian but don't follow the 10 commandments. Somebody also said that the SNAP program demographics show that white Americans constitute the largest group of food assistance recipients, representing 37% of all participants. This translates to approximately 15.5 million white Americans receiving SNAP benefits monthly. African Americans participating accounts for 26% of recipients, while Hispanic and Latinos family represent the 16% of the program's beneficiaries. These figures reflect the both absolute population sizes of different racial groups and their varying rates economic needs. Somebody also said that we are living rent-free in their minds. The truth has come out about our real power, our God, our ancestry, our inventions, our prophecy, and that is about to unfold. The Ethiopian Bible had them shook. That's why they destroyed most of them except for a few, and very whitewashed their version of the Christian Bible to validate and whitewash slavery. I love being black and my melanated skin. I love my black people. I love our power. I love our God. So, yeah, I guess that's what's really happening. So please let me know what you think about this video. But until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. So.